everybody, welcome to Paper Train's Saturday Showcase feature. I'm Ashley, and in this week's video I am going to be featuring Lilies of the Field stamp set and die collection. And it's the perfect time because here in the Washington DC area today, this Saturday, it is warming up. There's a kite festival going on downtown at our nation's capital, and Lilies of the Field seem like will be everywhere, and it's the perfect day for that. So I'm going to be stamping a Mother's Day card today because Mother's Day will be coming up soon, and I thought, hey, I'd like to have a head start on that. So I wanted to do something with more of a natural feel to it, and also clusters type of white type of lilies. And so let's take a look at the card that I'll be trying to replicate, at least on this video today. Alright, so here is the Mother's Day card I'm creating today using Lilies of the Field. And so I wanted to kind of have it lilies from the field clustered on one side and have a little bit of Mother's Day sentiment and some pattern here on craft cardstock. Okay, so let's just place this to the side up here for reference so I can see it here. I'll kind of put it right here so you guys can see a little bit of it too. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of the stamp set first. Here's Lilies of the Field. As you can see here, there are a few different options. You have some cluster options here. You would start with the lettered and the number that it's here. It's A1. You can start there. And next you would stamp A2, A3, A4, and then A5 as an option. You could also stamp, instead of the cluster, just a single one. Here's B1, and here is B2 over here, B3, and B4 is right here, and then B5 is the stem. And then there are smaller ones here. You can do C1 here, all right, C2 the center, C3 the center, and then C4, and then you have C5, the actual stem, and then there's also D, bud, the little bud of one, D1, D2, and then you also have a couple of extra little like leaves you can use as well to kind of fill in if you wanted to extra build your own or something like that. So it's a really cool stamp set. Then you can get the coordinating dies here. You have the larger cluster, which is right here. This is the larger cluster. That's the A1 cluster, the A cluster. You have a B, like the B version, and here's another one like the C size. Here's the bud, and then there's those little leaves. You have the single one, that's the B, and that's the C. Coordinates with the C stamp that's on the label. Okay, so you have to make sure you get the label too. So that's Lilies of the Field. All right, so the first thing I need to do to get started is to do some die cutting, and I already have that done for the video. So I'm just going to pull them out. I'm going to start with this size here to stamp with. I'm actually going to pull them all out because that way when I have my ink colors, they'll be ready to go. So I like to place mine in the right order like this. And I'm going to start with Lemon Tart because I want white lilies like I have here. I want white lilies. So I'm going to use Lemon Tart, and I'll start with the larger one, and this coordinates with the B. This coordinates with this B flower here size. And I'm not going to do the B1 because I want my lily to be white. So I die cut it from white cardstock so my lily can be white. However, I could make my lily any color I wanted by starting with the B1 stamp. I'm going to skip B1 for mine, and I'm going to go on to B2, which is this one here, and it gives the detail. Okay, so I'm going to do a light Lemon Tart color. And the thing about stamping with these stamps is you just want to position it and make sure you have it in the right spot. So if you're doing multiples, make sure all of the die cuts are facing the same way, like this one's not. So now I'm going to turn it this way, and now it is. So now I can hold my block the same way each time I stamp. Now I'm taking the C2 image here, C2, and putting it on my block to coordinate with this one. And again, make sure all my dies are faced the same way. And then I can just quickly go through each one. I have 5 of these. I like to fill in with the little smaller lilies. And now I'm ready to move on to the center. I'm going to use Simply Chartreuse. And I have C3 for this one, and I'm just going to stamp it right here in the middle of all 5 of my C-sized lily die cuts. And next I'm going to take the B size, so this one is B3 right here. Put that to my block, and then I'll position this where I think it should be. Next, I'm ready for the middle, the stamen part, so I'm going to get B4, this one here, B4. And the stamp is missing, but it looks like this is B4, because I already had it pulled out. Next, I'm going to use some dark chocolate ink. I'm going to add those to make them sprout right out of there. Since I have multiples, I like to make them sprout from different directions. I don't know if that makes them look more realistic, but to me it kind of does. The next one is C4, the smaller one here, C4. It's like the stamen, right, of the lily. When you already have your die cutting done, it's really easy to get everything all stamped super quickly. So, all that quickly, that is the stamping for the actual lily flowers. Now we will do the leaves. I'm just going to slide these to the side here. And I'm going to be using this one here, B5, and it's already on my block right here. I'm going to take out Simply Chartreuse ink. And just like my sample here, I'm going to just stamp it, as you see, all over the left side. So I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way to the top. I'm kind of overlapping these, the bottom there. The cool thing about this part is you're not going to see how it looks like this, because all the flowers are going to fill in. Okay, and you might have to fill in some more. The good thing about it is you can always fill in even extra with this little leaf here and that little stem here. It's not a leaf, a stem. And you can fill in more if you need to do that. So what I like to do at this point is kind of position everything to see if I need to add more stamping, less stamping, or what. So I just kind of put them in place. I might not have as many this time, or I might need to add some more. So what I think I'm going to do is to add some more so I can fill in some of this a little bit more up here. So I'm going to move this to the side and just kind of add a little bit here and here. And when you do that, I can kind of rotate and figure out where things can kind of be. The next step I want to do is add my polka dotted background. So I'm going to take this stencils, dot stencils here, add it over top like so. I'm going to take some Fresh Snow ink and just a foam dauber. You can use like a cosmetic sponge or whatever you want just to get the ink to transfer over the stencil. And I just kind of hold mine in place. You can tape it down if you want to make it more secure. And then I just make sure I work in one direction and keep going. If you want it to be really saturated, go over that section multiple times. If you want it to be more opaque, then wait for it to blend out a little bit more and don't add any more to that section. Okay, and then you lift it up and you have a cool polka dotted stencil background. I love the way white polka dot looks on craft cardstock. It just really pops and it's really beautiful. Alright, so the last thing I want to do is take a sentiment from, shouldn't say the last thing, but the next thing I want to do is take a sentiment from Family Ties stamp set. It's a sentiment set that has all of the family titles in here, like daughter, grandpa, brother, aunt, grandma, and you also have here, just going to show you really quickly, dad, son, sister, mom, and uncle. Okay, and then you have a lot of other pairing type of sentiments as well. So I am going to take Skinny Mini Banners. This is a Skinny Mini Banners die cut, and I've already have it cut from Stamper Select white cardstock, and this sentiment is from the Family Ties stamp set, and it just says Happy Mother's Day, and I'm going to stamp it with dark chocolate ink onto the Skinny Mini Banners die cut. Alright, so now that I have that done, I'm just going to set this to the side to make sure I can get the right placement. I like for my flowers not to be flat. I like them to bend like real petals bend, so I like to work the cardstock a little bit and warp it. And not really crease it. Sometimes it bends a little bit if you're a little bit too rough, But if you just kind of slide your finger on each petal and curl them upwards, it makes them more three-dimensional, and to me it brings them to life a lot more. It makes them look more realistic, like real life flowers, even though they're paper, stamped and die cut. So I do that to all of my die cuts. And this is what I like about handmade cards, because I have the ability to make these things exactly how you want them, and they're not flat. Unless you want a flat card, but for designs you want three-dimensional, this is great. Alright, so I'm going to start with the larger ones first and kind of place them. And then I'll fill in now with the smaller ones. And moving things around is definitely good to do, to figure out exactly where you want everything to go. Alright, so now I'm going to take my foam adhesive, start with the larger ones. Alright, next, the last thing I'm going to do is add my sentiment. So I'm going to take my stamped Happy Mother's Day banner, and I have the die from the Family Tie stamp set. This is the coordinating die that goes with it. It says Mom, so those are the ones that go with this. So I already have it die cut, and here it is die cut from white cardstock. I'm going to pop this up with a couple of foam adhesives here on the ends, and then one in the middle just to weight it down, because it sometimes will sink down in the middle there if you don't have it weighted properly. And I'm going to make sure this is right where I want it. I'll get a little bit of liquid adhesive here and a few dots. And then I have my card already. So there it is. There's our two cards. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this week's video showcasing Lilies of the Field stamp set and the coordinating dies. It's a really cool set, and there's lots of things you can do with it. You can make lilies any color you want them, and then I just wanted to show how you can make white lilies and make them pop off of a neutral color cardstock like craft giving it a little bit of color, a little bit of a contrast with the white flowers on something a little bit darker, but still natural all the while. And what better way to do that than on a Mother's Day card, right? So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I'm Ashley for Paper Tray Ink, and I will see you guys next week. You guys have a great weekend and have fun creating. Bye-bye.